Just to add to the end of that conversation, part of the discussion we had in this paper, so it's a lovely segue, but part of the work when we were having conversations that led to the work that I'm going to talk about today, we were actually talking about in mathematics that it's not just about the ITE, it's also about the offering of mathematics as an area that students can go and actually get the content knowledge to start with. And that's becoming being offered at fewer universities as an entity, but also if you are at a university that offers mathematics, oftentimes those mathematics people in the education space, in the ITE, no, sorry, not ITE, in the university are suggesting, why would you want to go become a maths teacher when you've just done this wonderful mathematics degree that can take you to all these wonderful places? To which we counter, of course, why wouldn't you? Mathematics teaching is one of those wonderful things that offers so much to so many little people, as well as to, now I'm trying to quickly find there it is. Excellent. All right. So thank you for this afternoon. Well, it's this afternoon here. Where you are, it may be all sorts of different times. But I'm going to talk about part of a very big study and a particular component that we started putting together when we were starting to look at the first part of this very big study. While I'm here, and before I get too far into it, I do need to acknowledge lots of different people in the Zoom room today who are all also part of this study, and hopefully I will do them and their thinking justice. But we have a number of different people involved in this big project. It's an Australian Research Council funded project looking at shifting the culture of out-of-field professional education for teachers. Within our big group that you can see lots of names on the screen, there is a few of us who come from the mathematics teacher education space. And this particular presentation is describing some work that we started to do when we were all involved in starting to put together a bit more of the literature review space and the conversations that we as a maths team started to have. Maths is one of those areas that, as I said before, why wouldn't you want to teach it? But know more about where we're headed in Australia. We have a number of published statistics around what's happening, and there is a lot more that needs to be done in terms of the data space, and a lot that has been called for. But the most recent published statistics in Australia suggest that we're looking at up to 40% of mathematics teachers who may be teaching out of field in Australia. So it's quite prevalent, but it's also, as was discussed in the first session of today, seems to be being exacerbated by current problems within the teacher workforce crisis. So we're assuming that this is just the start of a very big conversation really in this space as well, or perhaps the middle of a very big conversation. But in terms of the work I'm going to share with you today, this is from this broader project, and it's insights that from ongoing scholarly inquiry that uses Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory to map the complex educational ecosystem perpetuating out-of-field teaching. Our broader project seeks to identify the systemic factors that hinder the recognition and value of out-of-field teacher respecialisation through professional education across 4 subject domains: English, geography, mathematics and science. But what I'm going to present in this session is really an emerging map of the current educational ecosystem that sustains out-of-field teaching in mathematics. In this work, we're examining how out-of-field mathematics teachers are positioned or overlooked within the current policy and organisational strategy documents that are supposed to support them. Additionally, this work explores methodologies related to professional capital used during our policy analysis. And by our, I must refer to Emeritus Professor Merrilyn Goos, who's in the screen with us at the moment, and Associate Professor Greg Oates, who's also in there too. The 3 of us had wonderful opportunities to talk about what we were reading about and start to capture during our policy analysis, the sorts of things we were seeing coming from workplace-based support for out-of-field teachers of mathematics. We have a conference paper in a published proceedings that I will share a link to later, which actually unpacks some of this in more detail than I'm going to be able to share this afternoon. Oh, there's another link to it too. Nothing like a little plug, is there? So Linda showed this diagram yesterday, and this is our bigger, broader project, but I'm reporting on the initial work we undertook. By the mathematics team when we were developing a map of the mathematical terrain drawn from academic and grey literature. So that grey bit at the side, aptly coloured, including state, territory and federal policies, industrial background and organisational strategy documents. Due to the nature of these documents, their influence centres their effects on the mesosystem and the exosystem. So that is the documents such as the policy documents and the strategy documents that we were looking at provided guidance about how to fix a specific issue and influence connections between environments, mesosystem, or external settings that indirectly affect individuals from the exosystem. So the documents we considered for this study represented perspectives on out-of-field teaching in mathematics relating to the workplace, but also to initial teacher education and retraining, as well as professional education available to teachers from, say, national and state subject associations. But for this particular, as you can see, I'm trying to bring a very broad project down to show you a very small slice. And for this, we're focusing on the workplace and looking at the question, how do policies and publications of professional organisations influence workplace representations of and support for teachers currently teaching mathematics out of field? So the process for policy review and analysis involved multiple researchers collecting a range of documents from professional associations, teacher registration bodies, government departments and agencies, unions, and other learned societies with a specific group of researchers analysing the documents relevant to their area of expertise. So for this, of course, our mathematics team. All of us undertook a process of document analysis to consider aspects of the documents where there was a direct mention or where there was a related mention to out-of-field teachers or teaching. So we included direct references to the term out-of-field as well as indirect references to, say, new or returning teachers to a subject or learning area. Following this analysis, the three of us met to really talk through what we had started to see and what themes we felt were emerging. And it was during these discussions that we were able to simultaneously check our reliability of our analysis, but also draw on the professional capital that we had from our respective the areas of expertise within mathematics teacher education to discern meaning and implications from those findings. So little on professional capital. Hargreaves and Fullen conceptualized professional capital as the importance and effectiveness of professional work. They proposed three linked aspects of professional capital: human, an individual's attributes and competencies; social, the quality of professional interactions; and decisional capital, the ability to make informed judgments. In an educational context, professional capital encompasses the qualities and values of individuals within educational settings. And Hargreaves and Fullen describe professional capital as a product of the interplay between the human, social, and decisional capital, emphasising the collective sharing and networking of expertise, offering a framework for analysis decision-making at both the individual and group levels. Oates and colleagues explored the use of professional capital to describe the influences on mathematics teacher educators' decisions in course design, and their study supports the use of professional knowledge as an integral part of discourse analysis. As mathematics teacher educators and researchers, the researchers drew upon a discourse analysis approach using our human, social, and decisional capital to consider themes emerging from the document analysis. And we were able to map this independently. My kids have just arrived home, so sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. No, you keep going. Sorry, guys. So we look to independently map these and compare these themes and see how we were appropriately or discuss how we were placing them on the ecosystem map. We were talking about how the themes provided opportunities and challenges for teachers to access pathways to becoming in field, primarily emanating from the mesosystem and exosystem due to the nature of those documents. And our contextual understanding was also required in interpreting the focus and purpose of these documents. What was being talked about? Why was it there? How was it going to support teachers, or how was it intended to support teachers in this way? It was a wonderful opportunity. Then we also took this to a couple of different conferences and ran roundtables to get a broader perspective from mathematics teacher educators and researchers in Australia and further to really test our themes and get our understanding if there are other ideas that were coming to play. But I will move into what we have seen, because I find this abundantly fascinating. But I must admit here that we are putting all of this together as well for a broader article in ZDM, which looks at, oh, someone's about to board, looks at workplace, professional education and ITE, the whole picture. This one is just looking particularly at workplace. And I also want to acknowledge Osman Kasimu, who's helping us with some of this work. So what did we see? Well, the research team found emerging themes that identified a pair of contradictory myths that stem from school leadership practices in the mesosystem. They're contradictory to each other, but also in some ways to the literature that underpins them. The first myth, shared by teachers and teacher educators, is a belief from school leadership that anyone can teach mathematics. It's brought about by the consideration that every person engages in some mathematics every day. Therefore, anyone should be able to teach mathematics. This notion devalues the specialised knowledge and pedagogical content knowledge required for effective mathematics instruction, suggesting that mere content familiarity would be sufficient. Research consistently demonstrates that effective mathematics teaching requires a profound understanding of mathematical concepts. So that mathematical pedagogical content knowledge is not just knowing the correct mathematics or how to teach it, but it's a deep understanding of the ways that students come to mathematics. And this can be, for example, knowledge of the misconceptions, or the common misconceptions that we might see, or issues students would typically face with particular areas of content, and the expertise in how to assist students in working through the wrong answers to work towards correct ideas. So the myth that anyone can teach maths not only disregards the complexity of mathematics education, but it also contributes to the normalisation of out-of-field teaching, which then hinders the development of targeted interventions and reinforcing the systemic undervaluation of mathematics teacher specialisations. The contradiction we found comes from an ongoing belief that we also saw that not everyone can learn maths. And this math seemed to be used in relation to students, suggesting that while we expect every teacher to be an expert in mathematics because they engage in the subject matter in incidental situations in their daily lives, we don't expect all students to be able to learn maths. The question is about the underpinning philosophy of these contradictory myths. So we wondered, are the presence of these myths because our belief that students are on a learning journey and therefore they may not meet the desired destination at the exact time that's planned for at the curriculum to suggest they should be? Or is it possible that one myth is feeding the other? And that's if we ask out-of-field teachers to teach mathematics, do we believe we've set the students up for success in learning mathematics? And we feel that this is another area that we want to explore further. Now, in the ZDM paper that I mentioned, we're going to take it one step further and weave in some of the quotes that we have seen from the interviews that we've conducted as part of the interview study. And we couldn't help, we really wanted to share one of these because we see these as illustrations of the context that we saw within the policy analysis as the people who are having to use these policies feel and how they feel in regard to having to use them or what's happening for them. So this is just one from an initial teacher educator in Queensland describing their experience of school leadership in relation to teaching of maths. Hopefully you're able to see that, but so as it says, you don't have to have equipment to worry about. You don't have safety issues to worry about. It's just you can read it up the night before in the textbook. The textbook has the answers. What more do you need? Another recurring theme that we identified in the research studies analysed for this part is that targeted interventions appeared to be devalued in practice. Barker and colleagues examined in a recent report called the Analysis of Out-of-Field Secondary Mathematics Teacher Upskilling Initiatives in Australia that there is a diverse landscape of programs designed to address out-of-field mathematics teaching. And this includes several universities across Australia offering courses to support out-of-field mathematics teachers. And highlighting some of the bridging courses that are available. But these particular bridging courses seem to focus in on particular content gaps or pieces of pedagogical skill necessary for effective mathematics teaching. But even with incentives, and despite growing numbers of out-of-field mathematics teachers, these courses weren't attracting large numbers of teachers wishing to retrain or requalify to teach mathematics. What we describe is that teachers and teacher educators shared their perspectives that while on-the-job learning can offer immediate workplace support, it risked reinforce knowledge. What I should say is there are a number of different factors that we saw, one of them pertaining to the nature of the support that might be available at your school. So immediate like mentoring relies upon there being a good mentor to support and to build that capacity. So when we have those out of field teachers, when we're having that large number of people, we may be seeing circumstances where these are reinforcing knowledge gaps within this sharing of expertise and knowledge. Goos and colleagues emphasised the crucial role of professional education in equipping teachers to effectively manage out of field teaching. Teacher engagement in professional education is often enhanced when they recognise learning as an ongoing process that led to increased self-efficacy. So this recognition can be challenging when the systems and structures of the school didn't support the ongoing development. For example, we saw where out-of-field teachers can often lack the necessary time to engage with the incidental professional education available through engaging with their in-field colleagues during school meetings. So a teacher describing that while an out-of-field teacher of mathematics may only have 1 or 2 classes a week. So when it comes to school subject meetings, they're asked to attend the one that is most prevalent or most aligned with their work in their timetable. And oftentimes that's not mathematics then, thereby missing the professional education that emanates from those discussions about pedagogy, assessment or moderation. And further consideration of those supporting structures would be needed. So there were 3 aspects of professional capital that provided a frame for considering the intricacies and complexities of professional education to support out-of-field teachers. And consideration during our document analysis was given to the importance of developing out-of-field teachers' individual skills and knowledge, including the current suite of courses available to teachers to address content gaps and pedagogy, contributing to development of human capital. Additionally, consideration for the relational aspects of teacher professional education in formal settings and the on-the-job considers the development of social capital, while systemic factors from the exosystem, explicating structures and policies influencing out-of-field teachers' ability to make informed decisions about their professional learning contributes to their decisional capital. So in Hargrave and Fulham's conceptualization, all 3 aspects were essential for development of professional capital And we found this analysis has emphasized the necessity for that development within the professional education so that we can truly support out of field mathematics teachers. I'm very conscious of the time, but just a couple of concluding remarks is that the complex motivations relating to out of field teachers and professional education outlined underscored for us the need for a comprehensive approach that acknowledges the broad experiences of out of field teachers and addresses the underlying systemic issues that contribute to the phenomenon. Sometimes what we try to do with policy can often exacerbate other issues. So these multifaceted challenges associated with out of field teaching, as evidenced in these policy and strategic documents, reveal that upskilling alone isn't enough. The complex motivations influencing out of field teachers' engagement with professional education, alongside the systemic barriers that sometimes they create, point towards even further this need to look at the full ecosystem, the full picture, when we're thinking about possible avenues to support teachers to become in field, should they wish to do so. I really thank you so much for allowing us to share this research. I do just want to, so that the recording has it, also pop up some of the references in case anyone wanted to have a look further. But I'll stop sharing and